very sweet. Hey guys, it is Anna. Welcome back. Welcome for the first time, whatever we're working with. Good evening. So I have been thinking a lot about a lot of things. There have been a lot of things to think about. There have been a lot of things to think about this past month. And I was kind of thinking, I just didn't want to do a vlog this week. I'm kind of just like doing a little word dump, like virtual journal entry type thing. I've been doing a lot of thinking about two things. Number one, perspective. Number two, nuance. And I just kind of want to word dump on you guys a little bit. I'm not trying to influence your thinking or anything like that. I'm not trying to change your life. I'm not a therapist. I'm just kind of sharing some thoughts that I have been thinking. And I have a latte with me and free will, and we're gonna see what happens. So this is kind of more of like a you don't have to sit down and watch type video. So this could be just a nice background for when you're doing laundry or crocheting, doing a word search, just driving, I don't know. So this is kind of background noise, but it's just the noise of my brain. So here we go, let's get comfy. Even though I gave those two primary things that I've been thinking about, I don't know where to start with this. So I'm gonna start with, even though I just said I don't know where to start, I'm gonna start with this one little thing that I've kind of like taken on this little life lesson principle or whatever, and I'm like adding it to my life. But anyway, I realized recently that if something makes me angry, I shouldn't post it or share it. And I feel like that just makes so much sense when you say it, but I'm like, how many things have I shared like on my story or whatever, and it's like because it just made me angry. And it's like, it only makes me angrier. So I'll give a little example, but I'm gonna keep it vague because it dabbles in what a lot of people consider to be political. And I personally, I feel like I get politics at every turn, so I don't want this space to be for that. But anyway, there was something that I saw on Instagram and I was like, wow, that is absolutely ridiculous and stupid. So I shared it on my story and then said something like sarcastic about it with little sparkle emojis. And after I thought about it, I was like, but why? What for? And I'm like, and then I thought about it some more. I was like, this could be a stage situation, but you shared it because it made you angry. So it's like, why keep giving energy to and fuel to this thing that bothers you? And I took it down so fast and was like, that's true. I feel like I'm seeing more and more that this world is so fueled by rage and like rage baiting, especially being part of an ethnic community that is like steeped in historical trauma. Good things, but also historical trauma. It's like we have the world right here in our hands with these phones. It's like the problems get bigger and closer and more amplified and outrageous. So, as some of y'all might know, Tori Kelly just came out with a nice thick album last month. My husband and I, we were kind of like, ooh, okay, new music, whatever. So when I finally got around to listening to it, I heard one song from it and I was like, I like this, cool. I was looking forward to the rest of it dropping. And I got like 3 songs in and I came across this one song that's called God Must Really Love Me. I think that's what it's called. I'm trying to remember. I haven't listened to it since because that song triggered me so hard. I was very much pissed off at Tori after I heard that song. But basically, she was saying that like she's just like, God must really love me. And the song is like, from what I was hearing, like I was gathering, like God must really love her because he gave her a wonderful little baby. And that pissed me all the way off. To this day, I have not finished the album, but let me tell you why. As someone who is fighting to not measure God's care and love for them on fertility, that song just was not good for me. And it's like, I had to just kind of stop and be like, okay, that was something that I won't say that she needed. I won't speak for her, but it's like, based off of this song, her looking at her little baby, that is a reminder for her of God's love for her. And it's like, that's her life. That's what she knows. As some would say, that is her truth. So it's like, I can't just invalidate that just because I'm having like the opposite experience where it's like, okay, so God must not really love me because he won't give me the child that I really want. And it's just kind of like two things can be true. Yes, maybe that's what God provided for her in that time, but that's not the only way that he shows love. And it's like, I don't think that she was trying to say that like God only loves the people that he gives children to or anything like that. Like this is just like the poetry of her life. This is the poetry of her life. This is the art that is coming out of her life. And I haven't gone back to the album because it really did something in my soul. But at the end of the day, multiple things can be true.
Being consistently on a TTC journey last year and still kind of riding the wave of it has kind of put me on a soapbox for our single brothers and sisters in the Christian community too. I feel like there's always a big expectation for them to come and share the load in the community. But then when it's time for the marrieds and the marrieds with kids to be a part, then sometimes I feel like the priority is like, oh, my family. So I was really glad to be a part of volunteering for a little speed dating thing that was done at a local church. I was glad that I was able to just be of service to a like subgroup of the church community that sometimes I feel like gets a little overlooked. And it just kind of blessed me to be able to give back. Don't forget to check on, support, and include your unmarried friends. Not because they're unmarried, but because they're people.
All right, another thing that I have been wrestling with and really pondering has been, like I said, nuance. I am realizing that I actually hate generalizations and stereotypes, like genuinely. They're so evil, so horrible, so just a horrible thing. I feel like the room that we save for assumptions and speculations is just like, it's really quite diabolical. For example, I have always had a slight fear of being perceived as like ghetto, poor Black people. When I was a kid, if we pulled up to like the store or somewhere and the music I just thought was just too loud, I was like, oh no, people are gonna think that we're those people. And so like stuff like that. Even going through college, being in a classical setting, being in a classical flute studio, being like the only Black girl like actually in there, I already felt like I was not like the best player in the studio. And then just like on top of that, just like being Black too, oh my gosh, like I just had intense pressure to like really get it together because of that. And like, you can't just be another like Black failure person or whatever.
Even though those are two examples of like self-inflicted stereotyping, obviously they're rooted in other things, but it's like I was forcing them on myself. But I feel like we are in such a society where it's just such an easy thing to do. It's like, okay, if you approve of this thing, then you must also approve of this, and this. Or like, even to stick with the race idea, it's like if I'm out in public and I am like offended by someone who is white, It's like, I can't just be like, oh, they did that because they're white and I'm black, therefore they're racist. Just like if it was the other way around, it's like, oh, she just did that because she's a ghetto black girl. And I don't know why it is so hard for people to accept the fact that these generalizations are actually so dangerous and so corny. We've become a very my team, your team, they do this, we do this type environment. And I just find it a little nauseating. I really think that we need to leave a little bit more room for individualism and nuance is the word of the day. Like, just because I believe in this one thing doesn't mean that I also believe in these 6 other things that you've never even heard me talk about, you know? Or just because I hang out with these people sometimes doesn't mean that I never hang out with others. Or just because I speak a certain way doesn't mean like I am uneducated or I speak a certain way and I'm trying to be white or something. Maybe I can just believe in moderation. Maybe I can just believe that there are some things that are good and I can leave the rest behind. Eat the chicken, spit out the bones. I just find the polarizing nature of our society to just be just insufferable, honestly. I just think that we can be better at finding common ground and not just being so mob-like. And I'm aware that a lot of people just have bad ideas and bad motives, but we don't have to resort to assumptions at the first sign of difference.
I've also been thinking a lot about relationships, friendships, and whatnot as an adult. Disclaimer, RJ had the kitchen cute 2 nights ago, then I came through and decided to bake. I just feel like over the past, maybe the past 3 years, maybe even 5, I feel like I've been learning a lot. I'm gonna also put something out here really quickly. I'm 26 years old. I have endured / made a lot of relationships, associations, all the things. There is no need to do detective work. If you feel like I'm talking about a specific situation or anything, I'm not talking about it. I'm not going into specifics, but I might be thinking about it, but I'm also thinking of 6 others. So just want to put that out there. This is not shade towards anyone. I am realizing no matter the level of relationship, it's just like if there's no trust or common ground, or if there's a feeling of obligation, it just, things get a little dicey. I will tell on myself a little bit. I had this one relationship, platonic girl relationship, obviously, but I had this one relationship, and it was like we were a few years strong, and we were constantly together, constantly, it was cool. But I missed some key clues, things that sister girl was struggling with or maybe insecure with. And I made a comment. In retrospect, it was a horrible comment. It was not necessary, but I thought that I was saying something nice, but it kind of wasn't. It was not for her. I thought that I was saying one thing, but she heard it completely different. That's where, perspective. She didn't talk to me about it. She kept me on her social media though. She wasn't liking my posts or anything, but she kept me around on social media. And I just kind of had to realize she is avoiding you, she's ignoring you, she's being rude to you. When I confronted her about it, then she told me, and I was just so angry that she wouldn't even try to salvage our friendship. I was like, you're just done. I'm like, after all this time, you're just done. You wouldn't even tell me, you wouldn't let me explain. And I feel like I was really, really focused on her response to what I said. I know I didn't have any ill intentions when I said what I said, but in retrospect, it was dumb. It was dumb. And now, years later, it's I understand. I understand where she's coming from. I am grown enough to be able to see, okay, what I said was hurtful. I didn't think anything of it, but she did. It meant a lot to her. I appreciate when people can take accountability. I really appreciate that. I've been on both sides of that, and deflecting and the lying and the craziness, it can get a little chaotic. And I won't say that I've never ever been a perfect, clearly, I've never been a perfect friend to anybody. I mean, not to say like I'm a terrible friend, but I've never been a perfect friend to anybody. I have had my fumbles and my stumbles and my bumbles, and I have been on both sides. I have been on both sides.
It's kind of tough protecting yourself in relationships because it's like you don't go in thinking this is going to end badly. So it's kind of tough just like even like thinking back after a relationship has ended and like recounting all the red flags and stuff. It's like I get torn between feeling bad for seeing the red flags or considering something a red flag, but then at the same time it's like when you're in it and you choose to ignore it, and it's just like, okay, you're still losing. I also think about some of the relationships that I've had where I have like poured my heart out to people about certain things and like just like trusted a lot that was going on with me with them, or entrusted them with that information. And it's like I'm just like, I think back, I'm like, why did I think that was going to be okay? And it's like, again, I don't go into these relationships thinking this is going to end badly, but it's just like I hate that I've given little pieces of my thoughts and my feelings to people who now on this side of things I'm like, I feel like absolutely didn't deserve it. But it's like I only know that they didn't deserve it, and I say that in quotes, because of where I am right now today. In that moment I would have had no idea. And going back to the whole invalidating the response to being hurt, I feel like it's very easy for me to feel bad after talking about or pointing something out to someone that I feel has done something wrong or has hurt me. Obviously, delivery is important, but at the end of the day, you can't withhold that from someone and then stay angry at them, because it's like you kind of become part of the problem yourself. Not the originator, but part of the problem. At the end of the day, that person's response is totally, that's up to them. No one enjoys being the villain or being held accountable or being told that what they did or what they said was hurtful or made someone lose trust in them or offended someone. It just never feels good. But it is necessary in every type of relationship you can think of. Work, friendship, church, marriage. Oh, don't get me started on marriage, because we got to tell each other about ourselves quite often.
My last thing, which is slightly less doom and gloom, a little less sad than everything else. Why does starting something new, trying something new, make you feel like such a fraud? For example, it's been revealed to me that I enjoy a slight 70s aesthetic. Yeah. And I recently, scrolling through Instagram, I saw this girlie, she's doing this video. She had beautiful glowing skin and her curls were just so moisturized, and she was showing us how she wears scarves on her neck just for fun. And I was like, I want to do that. I bought one little scarf and immediately was like, I'm a fraud. What is this? So I did it though. I did it last week. I tried on Saturday. I tried doing a little something and I was like, no, it's not working. I tried again the next day on Sunday. I was like, I'm doing it. I'm committing to it. I'm committing to scarves. And it makes me feel so fake and so phony. But it's like, but why? It's like, yeah, I'm new here. That doesn't mean I don't belong here. You know? Yes. What are some things you guys think about? What have you been wrestling with? Or what is something that you think about that makes you glad to be alive, you know? I feel like there's room for all of it. So I'm curious. But anyway, your thoughts are welcomed. I hope you go ahead and share a little something. But we're gonna go ahead and end it here. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop. I'm gonna finish editing this, get it out so y'all can see. Anyway, thank you for letting me word dump on you guys. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a good week, a good day, good weekend, that you stay safe. Yeah, watch out for the produce. I think we're good with the smoke. I think we're past that. Don't get explosive diarrhea. Okay, bye.